All right, so here's the answer key for the video answer key for converting to factored form homework. This is the last homework in our converting unit. And this is going to factored form. So these first two are going from standard to factored form. Standard to factored form, I mean, you have to factor. You're going to have to go find the GCF, pull it out, and then factor if you have a trinomial product sum. If you don't, maybe just GCF. All right, so this first one, there is no GCF. However, there is a negative in front of the x squared, and we always want a positive in front of x squared. And also, it's good to note that our a value in standard form, the a value in standard form is -1. Okay. So that -1 we know is going to have to be in front of our factored form, and the only way to do that is to pull out the negative. Okay. So we're going to pull out -1. Okay, you can put the -1 or you can just put the negative sign. And all that's going to do is flip all the signs. It's going to give us positive x squared minus 6x minus 7. And then from here, you just factor a product sum. These are the easy ones. If there's not a number in front of x squared, you just figure out what multiplies to the last term and adds to the middle term. Okay. So what is going to multiply to -7 and add to -6? Okay. Well, 7's prime. The only thing that multiplies to it is 7 and 1. Okay. And since it's -7 and -6, one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. The bigger one's going to be negative. So it's going to be -7 and +1. And that's factored form. Okay. Second one's pretty similar. Take out the GCF, factor it. GCF on this one, there is a greatest common factor that's a number. You got 2, 16, and 24. Those are all even. So you're going to factor out the 2. Leaves behind x squared plus 8x plus 12. And then what multiplies to 12 and adds to 8? Okay. Well, it's 6 and 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12. Okay. And again, that's factored form. All right, so that's the easy side of going into factored form. The harder one is going from vertex form to factored form. Vertex form to factored form, you have to go to standard form first. Okay. So it's like two problems in one. Again, we're not going to do too many of these, but it's good practice. And it's all just skills we already know. We already know how to convert from vertex form to standard form, and we just did standard form to factored form. Okay. So first up is you expand. Okay. Then we'll FOIL. You got a binomial times a binomial. First outside, inside, last. It's going to be x squared minus 1x minus 1x is minus 2x. And plus 1, perfect square trinomial, minus 3. All right, then distribute. Distribute the 3 to the trinomial, but not to the 3 on the back. Combine like terms. Usually these last terms are going to combine. In this case, we have -3 and +3, plus 3 minus 3. That's going to go away. So all we're left with is 3x squared minus 6x, okay, plus 0. Okay. All right, so again, the steps for that was expand, FOIL, distribute, combine like terms, and now we're in standard form. Okay. The whole goal of this is to be in factored form, so now we're going to have to factor this. Okay, we started in vertex form, we are currently in factored form, so now all we do is factor. Okay, there's only 2 terms, so it's not going to be a trinomial factor. it's just going to be a GCF. Okay. The greatest common factor between 3x squared and negative 6x is 3x. Okay. And it leaves behind an x minus 2. Okay. All right, and that's fully factored, and that's factored form. Now again, what it really is, and there was one like this in the notes, what it really is you have 3x minus 0, x minus 2. Okay. But you don't have to write it like that. You can just leave it in that above form. All right, next one's same thing. I'm just going to run through it pretty quickly. Expand, that'll give us 2 times x plus 1 times x plus 1. Now again, if you're good with the perfect square trinomial pattern, you don't have to FOIL this. Oops, jumping all over. A lot of you know that x plus 1 squared is going to be x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay. So any steps you could do in your head, that's fine. It's, you don't have to show every step. But since this is an answer key, I'll show everything. All right, so expand, FOIL, distribute. Distribute the 2x squared plus 4x plus 2, but don't distribute to the 8. Okay. So again, it's just distributing to these. The FOIL, first outside, inside, last. Combine like terms. Whoops. 2x squared plus 4x. And then the only thing that's going to combine is the 2 minus 8. Okay. So now we're in standard form. Again, started in vertex form. Now we're in standard form. We need to get to factored form. Okay. So to go from standard form to factored form, I always check for a GCF first. Okay, there is a GCF. It's a 2. So pull out the 2. Leaves behind x squared plus 2x minus 3. And then factor, product sum, what multiplies to negative 3 and adds to positive 2. Well, the only thing that multiplies to negative 3 is 1 and 3. And since the middle term is positive, the bigger factor is going to be positive. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 3 plus negative 1 is positive 2. Now that's factored form. Okay. All right, like always, the answer key will be on Google Classrooms. Mini quiz will be up along with the answer key.